Hi, welcome to the Celebrity Gossip Channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about Nicki Minaj releasing her new single Red Ruby The Stings and me giving my review on it. I'll also be talking about her performing at Rolling Loud with Lil Wayne, and then later on I'll also be talking about her going on Queen Radio and making her announcement. Then later on, the final topic I'll be talking about is Tory Lanez's gag order finally being removed by the judge. Right, so obviously, you know, over the last 2 to 3 years, Tory Lanez has had an ongoing public trial with MeganTheeStallion because MeganTheeStallion publicly accused him in mid-2020 of allegedly shooting her. And in late 2022, he was convicted of shooting MeganTheeStallion and was found guilty. But obviously, as you know, despite him being found guilty, there was still a lot of people who had a lot of mixed reactions. And to be honest with you, myself, I was a bit, you know, like in the middle, because I will make this very, very clear. I am not a fan of Tory Lanez. I do not stand him. I do not, you know, like I'm not a huge fan. It's something I like is when people were saying, oh, but you're just a fan of him. I don't give a shit about Tory Lanez. Okay, let me make that abundantly clear. I just kind of felt like even though I believed Megan was injured, you know, I found it just a bit difficult to believe that the evidence necessarily pointed at Tory. You know, because I felt like if anything, the evidence, in my opinion, right, allegedly, in my opinion, kind of pointed most at Kelsey, if anything. You know, that's just how I saw it. I didn't really feel like there was a lot of evidence against him. So that's why when he was found guilty on all counts, I was a bit shocked, I'm not going to lie. So it had nothing to do with being a fan. I don't really listen to Tory Lanez like that. So I do find it a bit irritating when people say that. But I just feel like because some people did not want to believe that Megan could be lying about anything, they were going to defend her. But yeah, but anyway, in the midst of him being accused of the crime, he was given a gag order by the judge. So a gag order is basically when a defendant who is being accused of an ongoing crime is basically forced not to talk about a case publicly. But what the issue is with this is, if this was a regular gag order, of course no one would really care if this was a regular gag order on someone who was not famous. But the issue is, when you have an ongoing public case with two famous people, and I'm not saying, you know, that Beyonce and Jay-Z or, you know, a Rihanna, don't get me wrong. However, this case has still been highly, highly publicized, you know, because of the fact that it was all over the news, it was talked about everywhere. Like, you could not escape hearing about this trial, you know. So because of that, it kind of makes it difficult in this sense, because you have someone who is talking about the case, right, versus someone who's you know, on the opposing side, right, the defendant, who is not allowed to talk about the case. And even though I can understand that some people may like Megan, you know, and they obviously may empathize for her, and I empathize for the fact that she was injured, don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying, is could you not understand how that could be a bit iffy to be accused of a crime and you've not even, you know, been proven guilty yet? Because you have to remember, he got this gag order in 2020. Okay, this was way before he had even been proven guilty, way before all of that, right? Imagine being accused of a crime, having that person do interviews on CBS, Rolling Stone, and you can't even respond because you have a gag order on you. So that's what people do have to think about and consider. So if you really look at it from that, it kind of looks like he was already kind of, he never really had much of a chance, if you're really being honest, you know. Like these interviews, they were on CBS, and I feel like what people were not understanding is, to a lot of people who were questioning Megan because of the fact that she did have an inconsistent story, you know. It wasn't more so about the fact that she was a black woman, because I noticed that was something else that she kept on promoting, you know, like, oh, protect black women, oh, you guys hate black women. And to me, I didn't really like that. Not to disagree that black women are protected, it was mostly because I felt like she was just using it to get sympathy points, for, you know, like to get people to feel empathetic for her. You know, I didn't really like that. If you were injured, obviously that's messed up. You shouldn't really have to say, oh, black women are not protected. Because besides, when she wasn't going on about the Tory Lanez case, right, when else was she saying protect black women? I'm saying is, when she was not benefiting from that narrative, when else was she saying protect black women? So to me, I didn't really like that. I did think that was a bit disingenuous. So Recently, Tory's lawyer did request to have the gag order removed. And him having the gag order removed basically means that he can now publicly speak about the case. And if he wanted, obviously, he could do interviews or whatever. So he obviously now is able to do public responses and stuff like that, which is something he could not do in the past. And I do think had he testified in court, he just maybe might have had an upper advantage because him being accused of all these crimes and all these accounts and stuff like that, because it's like 7 different counts. I think I could be wrong. So I feel like he should have been able to testify in court as well, not just obviously not have the gag on it, because I feel like you have to be unbiased when it comes to this stuff, right? In my opinion, right? I've been on Twitter. I've seen the difference, in the perception about people, a lot of them, and my opinion, because a lot of people say this about the people who support Tory Lanez, and I don't support Tory Lanez. Let me make that clear. I was somewhere in the middle. I was somewhere in the middle. It didn't really affect me in any light if he got convicted, because I don't really care for him like that. I'm not a fan. I think he's talented. I'm not a fan. But in this case, I did kind of feel like it was a bit off, only because I didn't really see that much evidence against it, in my opinion. I felt it pointed more at Kelsey, and I always found it very weird how she entered that courtroom and was going on about pleading the fifth. Like, why would you plead the fifth if you have nothing to hide? You've not done anything. Why are you seeking for protection? That doesn't even make any sense. So, in my opinion, allegedly, I feel like Kelsey was the one who allegedly shot NickiMinaj. In my opinion, allegedly. So yeah, that's my opinion. I'm just speculating, but yeah. So I feel like it was more so Kelsey than it was Tory, and a lot of people are going on about that phone conversation that leaked a few weeks ago, maybe a few months ago.
Hello.
Hey.
Y'all got out safe and everything.
Huh?
Y'all got out and everything. Y'all good?
Megan's still in the hospital. I'm outside the hospital.
What hospital y'all at?
About what?
You said what?
You're listening to Street TV.
I said Megan's in the hospital still. I'm outside the hospital waiting.
What hospital are you at?
I don't know. Let me see. Feeder, something like that. Feeder.
Bro.
Sure.
Regardless, I know she probably never ever gonna talk to me ever again, but bruh, I just want you to know, bruh. Nigga, I was just so fucking drunk, nigga. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on, bro. That ass. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on, bro. Like, that ass, nigga. I'd never do some shit like that, bro. Just that, nigga, I was so fucking drunk, nigga. I just didn't even understand what the fuck was going on, bro. Like, so, whatever,
Yeah.
bro. But, regardless, that's not gonna make anything right. And that's not gonna make my actions right, bro. But I'm just deeply sorry, bro. I never even moved like that, bro. Like, never moved like that at all, bro. Like, for real, dog.
I know. There's a lot.
People trying to say, oh, but this doesn't make Tory look good. I feel like it's all about perception. People will see things how they want to. I will say this, right? I don't necessarily understand the context of what he was saying. However, I will say this. I do think it was a bit odd. And I'm talking about the phone call conversation that leaked online after the incident had allegedly happened. Tory Lanez was talking to Kelsey, if you don't know. And they were talking about the incident. He was asking where Megan was, what hospital Megan was, and some people kind of felt like the conversation made him sound guilty. But to me, I was a bit confused. If you don't know, Kelsey accused Tory Lanez of beating her up, allegedly. If you didn't know, if you followed the case, Kelsey accused Tory of allegedly beating her up. So the only thing that kind of confused me is how is she talking to him so calmly? Like, let's think about this logically. Speculating, but I'm just saying. This man just shot your best friend and he just beat you up. Why are you speaking to him so calmly? That confused the hell out. I know they may have been drinking or something like that because they did come from a party, allegedly. So they may have been on substances, allegedly, but I don't know. I just think even if you're not in, your regular state of mind, if someone shot your friend, if someone beat you up, allegedly, which is what Kelsey said. She said allegedly Tory put his hands on her. That is what she said. If he did all those things, why would you speak to that person calmly? You think you'd be cussing them out on the phone. So that did kind of confuse me. So like I said, I do think it's all about perception. To that phone call, some people may view it as, oh, Tory sounds guilty, and I can understand that. But I feel like, again, that's why I say I'm somewhere, like in the middle. I'm not really completely convinced. I can understand why some people think he did it, but yeah, I'm not completely convinced. Only because if you really want to take that phone call conversation, right, it's most people being unbiased would be like, yeah, but why would she speak to him so calmly if he just allegedly put his hands on her and also shot the best friend? That doesn't make any sense. So I am interested to hear what Tory Lanez has to say with his gag order being removed. I am interested to hear what he has to say. But I do think a lot of people need to learn to be unbiased with this stuff, okay? I really want to be honest. I don't really think any of their careers will really be the same. Like Megan will ever be looked at by people in the black community as someone who lied on an innocent black man. That's what people have said. And Tory will be looked at as someone who allegedly shot a black woman. Their careers, both of them, will never truly be the same, in my opinion. And it is unfortunate because I feel like obviously someone was telling the truth in that situation and someone was not. So it is unfortunate that technically both of them, even if the other person is lying, will both be affected by the situation, whether they're telling the truth or not. I do have to say this. This might be a very unpopular opinion, but I do think had MeganTheeStallion not dating Tory Lanez behind her best friend's back, because if you didn't know, Kelsey was with Tory Lanez first before MeganTheeStallion was sleeping with him. So I do feel like had she not basically got behind her best friend's back and slept with him, this whole situation might not have even happened. This whole situation wouldn't have even happened. So I'm just saying, I'm not saying that to like slut shame no one, but I'm just saying that is something to consider. But anyway, yeah. So moving on from that, I want to talk about Nicki Minaj's new single, Red Ruby the Sleaze. So obviously, as you know, Nicki Minaj did release her new single, Red Ruby the Sleaze, and I did recently hear the song. I like the song. I do. I do like the song. It is definitely a pop. And I like the hook on it as well. That hook, I do like when Nicki sings. I don't know why some people don't like it when she sings, but for me, when she sings, the hook 90% of the time is usually good. I feel like the hook on this song is definitely the standout. I noticed some of the bars she had. I noticed the Christopher Reeves bar that obviously caused a lot of controversy last week because some people felt like she was making fun of MeganTheeStallion and was calling her a horse and stuff like that. So I noticed that bar. I also noticed that we don't F with Karens, like da 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 da. If you don't know, that bar was aimed at Latto, because last year when Nicki and Latto went back and forth, she called Latto a Karen. So that line was aimed at her. And I feel like it was so smart the way Nicki said it, because she obviously made it sound like a double entendre, because she said it like, don't be Karen, like caring. So the way she said it, you wouldn't even notice that she was actually saying the word Karen. It's only when I actually read the lyrics of the song, that's when I realized she wrote the word Karen, not spelling it as if caring. So I thought that was smart. She also said another bar that people know is the real bitch wishing that they not chose. So if you don't know, apparently Megan. Now this bar was. Now I feel like this bar was aimed at several people. I feel like it was aimed at Latto, mainly because obviously she's been claiming 21 Savage. Well, not publicly, but she's been hinting at it. Because she had a tattoo of his original name, his real name basically, on her neck. She got his name tattooed on her neck. But obviously she can't publicly claim it, and he can't publicly claim her and say, oh, that's my girlfriend, and she can't say, oh, that's my boyfriend, because he is married. So she can't do that. So she's basically a side chick, if you don't understand. So I feel like that bar could be aimed at her. I feel like the bar could also be aimed at, in my opinion, I feel like that bar was also aimed at CardiB. Only because if you've forgotten, her husband, Offset, whatever his name is, he obviously cheated on CardiB several times. I feel like that bar was aimed at her, because obviously, if you don't know, after he cheated on her back in 2018, just after she had culture, after she had her daughter, she apparently found out that was cheating on her, and she basically allegedly paid for men to beat on those women that her husband was allegedly cheating, not allegedly, but her husband was cheating on her with. And so basically, yeah, so I feel like that bar was aimed at her because obviously she wasn't Offset's choice, allegedly, or else he would, he would have kept it in his plans and wouldn't have been cheating on her. I feel like that bar can also be aimed at her. But yeah, another bar that she had was the bar where she said, "Those botched photos, why would you post those?" I feel like that bar was also aimed at CardiB, no offense, because obviously she has had a lot of photos recently viral of her not looking the best, and that's me saying that politely. But yeah, she's also been known for her shape-shifting face and stuff like that. It's a different person every time I see an interview or a photo get posted by the blogs. It feels like a whole different person that I'm looking at. So that's why I feel like that bar was also aimed at her. But yeah, overall, I would probably give the song a 9 out of 10. It's a good song. It's a very good song. I do see it being embraced by the GP. I'm not counting a lot of Republic. No offense. I don't like Republic. What am I talking about? I like how they push Ariana. I like how they push Drake. I like how they push Taylor Swift. I just wish they gave that same energy to Nicki. That's my only critique. Is she doesn't get that same push, that same radio, that same playlisting that they give to their other A-listers. But anyway, moving on from that, after Nicki released the song, she did go on Queen Radio, and she made an announcement that she is officially starting her own label. So this was quite a shock to me, because even though I heard her say something like this on the Joe Budden show, I was thinking it would be done years and years ago. I didn't think it was something that she would be doing anytime soon. So that was a bit, shocking to me. But I do think it is a good idea for her, because I do think if we're talking female rappers, right, she's definitely, like the standout one. So I feel like if there's anyone who can give female rappers, or even male rappers, because I know that she signed a male rapper, I feel like if there's anyone who could really give them that good advice, it's definitely her. So I do think some of her artists will definitely go on to do good things. All of them, but I just mean mainstream wise. I do think they will go on to do good things. Artist that's signed to Nicki's label is Tate Cobain. He actually wrote a Beyonce song, Virgo's Groove, and actually wrote the hook for Nicki's current song, Red Ruby the Sleaze, and he wrote the hook on the song. He is a very good songwriter. The final topic I wanted to talk about is Nicki doing Rolling Loud. She did a guest appearance with Lil Wayne. She performed High School, Bedrock, Chun-Li, and even did an a cappella version of Red Ruby the Sleaze. Unfortunately, she did have some sound issues. Besides that, I think she obviously tried to put on a good performance. And I like some of the shots that I did see go viral of her performing. It looked good, and she looked incredible as usual. But yeah, also, just to let you know, I did recently upload the first episode to my Career Breakdown series. The first episode, part 1, is on Nicki Minaj. I am currently working on part 2 of episode 1. The Career Breakdown series is a series I'm doing on celebrities, entertainers, musicians, rappers, singers, actors, etc., activists. And if there's any celebrities, public figures you could think of that I should do an episode 2 on, let me know. And also let me know what you think about the topics discussed in the video. Do you think that Relation of Haddy's gag order removed, or do you think it should have stayed on? Also let me know what you think about Nicki starting her own label. Who do you think she'll sign next to her label? Also, what do you think of her new song Red Ruby the Sleaze? Let me know in the comment section down below. Like, subscribe and share. Thank you.